Welcome back to another review and feedback. This time, we're going to cover another mech versus Zerg, again, provided by the lovely Zerg Eftoo. I appreciate all of these replays. I know I've been doing a lot of mech and Zerg, but these are all different styles, all different games, so it's very interesting to see what the different players are coming up with and presenting inside of the mech style, and showing the consistency and things that you can do as a Zerg player to meet that kind of play. That being said, I don't want to have us hang around too long before we actually get into it. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the game, and we will show you another match. As we know, F2 is in GM. He's in about 5K range, give or take a little bit. And then our Terran actually didn't have a rank, which means they have not placed, or that they are on unranked while they're playing. So if you ever see somebody that's in the like GM Masters Leagues area where they are usually communicative about what MMR somebody is and they don't show it, it means they're playing unranked. Or that they have quit for a long time and their rank is so high that they were a GM, and so they haven't gotten placed into an MMR range yet. So we got to be careful of that player, those kind of players. Those don't happen very often, but they exist. I mean, you do have like Euthermal has a bazillion accounts. This isn't Euthermal. I watch a lot of his videos. I'm kind of aware of what he does. His control is very impeccable, but the fourbetbluff is not his account name. Instantly fills his gas up, has a barracks down. So you delay the barracks to get your gas, so that way you can get a factory faster. This is a normal mech build. If you scout a late barracks, this is a late barracks, by the way, about 5-ish seconds, maybe 8-ish seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, what you want to do is you want to look for it to be finished by no later than 1:30. Or sorry, right around 1:30 is the mech build, and 1:18, I think, is the non-mech build, the just a Reaper opener build. He did start with a Reaper, is going to get gas, is going to get his orbital, but you can see that it's going to be a little bit delayed. So if the Reaper shows up before your Queen on your natural shows up when you do a normal build order, this is a pool first, so a little bit different. Speed? There it is. If you watch the resources up here, I was saying speed because he had gotten to 100 gas. And 100 gas is when you want to have your speed. This Zerg is being very aggressive. Maybe they were... Oh, getting a third. Okay. They're getting speed. They're getting across, all that kind of stuff. There is different styles. F2 apparently likes this one. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Apparently, this is one of the builds he likes. He's going around the long way. Basically, he wants to delay the natural. Doesn't worry about the Reaper too much. The reason they're delaying the natural and they're going wide is because the Reaper will just pick those lings off in the middle of the map all day long and not care. Drone's getting pushed away, or the Reaper getting pushed away. Drone pulled back to try and save it. Did do that successfully. Good job, F2. 6 health. That's 2 shots for the Reaper, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 4 damage. The Lings are attacking the wall, so they killed the single worker that was on the command center. The reason this is important is because it forces the Reaper all the way home, has to defend it, and make it so that they could theoretically get a nice little surround, something along those lines. I don't know which one of these Lings got the kill. Not that one, not that one, not that one. Actually, apparently the Terran pulled back appropriately. Overlord going to get picked off by these 2 Marines. It's quite a long run that those 2 Marines will kill the Overlord. And then the single Ling that remained got pushed away. A handful more. This is a very aggressive push coming from F2, which I kind of get it. I understand. You want to delay their natural, try and do as much damage as you can. They're playing a pool first, so they don't have as strong of an economy. This is not a bad choice. Kills many of the Marines. All the Marines are dead. Hellions are alive. There's 3 of them and a Reaper. This is a normal build. You want about 15 to 20 Lings and a couple of Queens in right positions. There's the right positions for the couple of Queens. They're going to move forward a little bit, getting creep spread, making sure that they protect their third. Third's not going to go down unless you really, really leave it alone. I don't think that'll happen. But you can see that they're making it so that the Hellion and Reaper won't get in, or if they do get in, that they're going to take a lot of damage for it. Decides to roast the natural. Those drones doing what they can to be annoying. Reaper is almost dead. Last Hellion is under attack. Just gets an extra drone here or there. Very good defense from Eftoo. So for those of you that are watching this saying, oh, I need to get to GM, I'm going to do really great. What you just saw is how you defend against 3 Hellion Reaper very, very effectively. Ooh, a Viking out. I like Vikings. So we're going to see Vikings, Hellions, and then maybe a Banshee? Yeah, Banshee Cloak. I don't usually look up here. I have this up there for you guys. Ling's in line, grabbing one of the Hellions. This is really great because the Hellions shooting a line. They're going to go ahead and stop the other Hellions from dying. Make it very difficult for... Ooh, nice. For them to do anything with regards to it. And the way that prioritization of attacks work, those Lings aren't going to attack these workers. They're going to attack the Hellions. So what you have to do is you have to like hold position them in the mineral line so that they hit the workers, which you saw. There's actually some losses there. I always have to look at this. I don't know why. So it's only 4 and 3 workers killed. Not bad for either side. Both of them doing a spectacular job on defending. Banshee's flying across. It's going to be spotted by F2. You got to pay attention to your mini-map. There is a Viking that's running around. It's already got 1 kill. Banshee is spotted as it flies in. Looks like it's going to go down before it can do anything. And, of course, there is spore crawlers around to defend. Roaches are not to play as of right now because of the Banshees. Roach Warren just completes, which is okay, not a bad thing. Just something to be aware that the Banshees and Liberator that we have on the way are going to absolutely crush any Roach play because they can't shoot up. It's really hard to bile them down, etc. And they complement the Hellions quite well. The Banshees do because they're almost equally fast, so they can kind of hang out as an army together pretty quick. And it also means that the Roaches, which are really good against Hellions, have something that can counter them. So this is like a pretty solid comp. Ooh, going into Hellbat, even better. I like the Mule to repair. It's going to repair the Banshee this time. Okay. I like the creep spread right into his face. That was like perfect. Banshee's going to be really annoying. The Viking on the ground, destroying all of the flying stuff. Oof. Auto repair. Auto repair? Auto repair? I don't know what we're doing. Auto repair is not on. Lots of drones going down. Roaches come up. They show it off. This is, that was really tough. Liberator on the other side doing 9 kills. Remember that a larva does count as a kill, so that's not 9 workers. It's probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 workers, as well as, of course, the, I like it. I would control that. Oh, nice. He grabbed the wrong queen and got a queen kill out of it. Worked really, really well for him. Roaches is the correct play. Does have vision, is hanging out in the back of his base. Has a third. So we're going to have the natural saturated. Look at that. Getting ready for the inevitable push with those Roaches. Creating a very deep supply wall, making it so that he's able to put Marauders, Cyclones, Marines, and all the units basically to defend against any Roaches. Overseer sees mech, so we know that we're going to do a mech play. Roach army, it's time for the Zerg to really abuse his opponent with macroing up. The reason being is that they know they're going mech. They just saw 3 factories put down some tech labs, and that they're not producing anything, and they know that they're only on 2 base. So they can't really afford all of this consistently at the moment. This is really great that he does have the ability to do it. A lot of Cyclones, because those Cyclones with Blue Flame and the Cyclone Reactor is going to make it so that he's doing BattleMech. If you ever heard or seen me say BattleMech, that's what's going on right now. Getting an armor first for the mech, interesting. I guess it's because the Cyclone's lock-on is a spell and therefore it doesn't count as damage, which is kind of crazy. I wish there was damage on the lock-on. It's a lot of damage. but they don't have that in the tooltip. It is a lot of damage. I don't know the exact amount, but it's a significant amount of damage. So this army is very, very formidable. It's a very kitey army, like an army you want to kite stuff with. Mutas, which get destroyed by cyclones. Just to be very clear, if you have 20 mutas go against an equivalent cost cyclone army, the mutas will get completely obliterated. 1 or 2, the mutas will absolutely destroy, but when you have like, if you have a 1-to-1 ratio or similar with your cyclones to muta, the mutas are gonna lose. Lots of mutas are gonna go down, so many cyclones, just locking on, so much damage. Whew. The Terran is pulling his SCVs back simply because he doesn't want to lose them. This is why you play as a Zerg Muta, because look at the size and the strength of that army, and it's sitting back at home trying to defend 700, while on the other side of the map, you're able to build up, you're able to expand. You can see the expansion already happened over here. You're able to just basically take control of your side and be able to just handle your opponent, because they have to defend this, otherwise they're going to lose their income, a significant amount of your income. So the other part with this is that you want to wait for your opponent to like move out. Right now, the Terran's being very, very patient and doing a really good job of waiting for those mutas to come home or come into his home. But you just have to be like aware that with the army composition that you're putting together, these mutas are gonna be annoying. They're gonna make sure that they know what's going on. They're gonna make it so that you have to stay home and fight them, or they know that it's coming. Here, this looks like an all-in on a 3-base. You can see that they said, you know what, I don't want to play against the mutas anymore. We're gonna take all of these workers. That looks like, I don't know, 10, 15. It's a little less than 20 is really the important part. Blue Flame Cyclone army, the surround. This was really good, placing the army here waiting. Then having the mutas come in with behind. This surround is impeccable. I don't know if there's enough army on the front side. Larva count? Larva is so low. That's part of the reason this is happening. Also, mech hits really, really, really hard. So there's an auto repair. Oh, that tank's going to get back to full really fast. That's really scary. So scary. Oh my gosh, so many Hellions, so many Lings. What's going to happen? 1 tank goes down. 2 tank goes down. 3 tanks goes down. Oof. The Zerg has barely, it looks like has barely held on. All these tanks are gonna have to kill the weak ones. Gotta kill the weak ones. Oof. Get the Roach in range. The army keeps coming. This is why your injects are so important in Zerg, because this army you need to replace multiple times in order to defend against this. Just the number of tanks, the number of Hellbats. You know what? Mutas. I hope mutas are on the way. Yeah, 10 are on the way. Because, yeah, you'll lose the space, lose all these workers, but you won't lose the game. Your opponent just threw away so much army and can't remax it. That's the key. Also, Ravengers dropping Biles, hilarious. Mutas just came out. Tanks shooting the wrong thing. Uh-oh. It's not good. But the tanks will eventually kill this army because they don't have anything that can shoot up. They did not bring a Thor along. They did not bring multiple Thor along. They didn't bring any Marines. They didn't bring any Vikings. They didn't bring any of the other units that you would like to have, like Cyclones, of course. You can see his rebuilt Thors on the back end for the push. So that's really painful for the Zerg, but the Terran lost almost as much with all of their army and is on fewer bases. So the Zerg, while they lost a bunch of workers, he still did a whole bunch of damage with his mutas and run-bys and all that good stuff, but was able to survive, and that's what's most important, and being able to survive with a decent enough economy that they can come back. Go ahead and speed up just a little bit. We got probably 1, maybe 2 more attacks. Hellions, the run-bys were not there, enough units spread around, so having just Lings spread out and around is a really good call. Muta coming in, getting ready to take out. There's a turret. Killed the turret, killed one of the workers. That's annoying for the Terran. Gets ready to move out again. So many Thor. So at this point, Roach Ling, I think, is the correct play. These mutas just picking off whatever they can. All those turrets. Says, no, mutas, I don't want to play you. It's hard to say. Like, I think Roaches and Ravengers is the correct play. Oh my goodness, there's so many Thor. That's so that's so tough. And then they don't have the money to get any gas. They don't have the gas. This is scary. This is really scary. And obviously losing the space again, losing those workers. If you don't kill this army, you game over. Or just completely ending the game on the other side of the map, which I don't think that they can do. I think it's one of those situations where this is cute. Unfortunate that there wasn't more there. So this army needs to kill this army, otherwise it's game over. Thor, nice. I like the mind control on the Thor. That's what infestors are for. Got to get there. Killing off all the Thor. Other side of the map does damage, killing off the new base, blocking the base, of course, which Eftoo is very, very good at. Killing a bunch of workers. And, of course, the push was completely canceled out. I think that the Terran had a chance to still win this. I mean, it's so many workers down on both sides. And the army that remains is just lings, basically. I mean, there's a handful of roaches and ravengers. 3 and 4, I think, yeah. And then a bunch of lings. It's possible. I don't know if I would have quit here. You know what? Maybe they just didn't have a Thor. That's probably what it was. Yeah, they didn't have a Thor and they mined out their main already. That's why. So basically they were on 2 base against 5 base at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Okay, 4 base. So it's just, it's really, really hard to get back on that, and they didn't have any Thor to support the pushback. What a game. So, the good. It's they're GMs. They are good. I can't. Both of them have a really strong build order. Both of them did a lot of good things. They both did a lot of damage to each other. They were really attentive to where their opponents were. They were very smart about it. They made their builds progress, meaning basically they were like, I want this unit, then this unit, then this unit, and they had a very intentional drop step into each different build unit composition that they were putting together. The Mutas delaying that push when those Cyclones and Hellions were out was insane. That was so much time. It was like 2.5 to 3 minutes where there was nothing across the map, and F2 was able to build whatever he wanted and was able to just handle the army once it eventually got there. Now, mind you, he didn't destroy it. He handled it. And what I mean by that is he made it so he didn't lose the game. That push wasn't fatal. It was close, but it wasn't enough to put him out of the game. It was enough to make it so that he had to put in the effort to remax, survive, and all that kind of stuff. That's why keeping your workers alive is so important later on in the game. Earlier on in the game, so that even if you lose that base, you can retake it, and then you have the workers already busy mining on another base, or you have the income for things. The Hellion play was pretty good. I think the splits of the Hellions weren't the right play. They sent the Terran, his name is fourbetbluff, sent 3 Hellions on 2 different routes, which is not necessarily what I would want to do. The reason being is because 3 Hellions, while they can kill a drone per shot, isn't going to be able to get through any military, and if you're going to run into a queen, because that's what happens at each base. So you're going to get like maybe 4 shots off in that area before you lose one of the Hellions, and that's assuming that they don't micro at all when they get there. So there's a theoretical situation where the number of workers that you take down is significantly less than the value of the Hellions that you sacrificed. So I would say the things that I'm gonna have to go look at his name again. I'm sorry. fourbetbluff did that needed to do was continue to build Vikings and or Banshees, those 2 units together, in combination with everything else he had, and then not throw away Hellions as much as he had, or as he threw them away, make sure that they were going to do damage. Basically, instead of just sending them blindly and not controlling them, making sure to control all of them together in one location. I can understand why you'd send them in 2 different packs. It makes sense, because if your opponent's unable to micro 1/2, you're going to do really a lot of damage, which the Banshee play, the Liberator play did a really good job earlier on in the game with that. But I think you understand what I'm trying to communicate, which is it was hey, let's test their micro and their ability to multitask versus let's go ahead and ensure that I'm going to do enough damage to make it worth my time, and then to make it so my opponent's further behind it and I can expand behind it. which obviously they weren't able to because the mutas and all that kind of stuff. So there's lots of factors to this game. I could arguably watch the whole thing over and find a whole slew of other things that I could talk through, but unfortunately that's not how I watch them. I do link the the matches for where I pull them from in the S2 replay. So if you'd like to rewatch this one is probably worth it. I would watch it from each person's perspective. That way you can see what things their camera's doing. And I don't like watching camera on YouTube a lot. I try to avoid it just simply because they're going to be jumping all over the place. They're going to be doing a lot of different things, and it's going to make it so it's like kind of, it doesn't look great on YouTube is really the reason being. But the gameplay shows you that how you're pulling each other's attention in different perspectives, how you're making your opponent be ready for the next step. You saw the Thors coming, you saw the Infestors doing their mind control. Why can I not think for the life of me what it's called? Holy cow. Wow, I'm really bad at this, aren't I? Neural. Neural. They were using Neural. And you saw that each player went from, we're doing Roach Ravager Ling to against your Hellion Cyclones. Okay, beat. And tanks now, and then you see Lings came back in, and then you saw the next level, which would be the Thors, which also had tanks and some Hellions with it, and then you saw the Infestors that showed up and handled that. Like there was also not enough tanks. This transition from Thor over was a complete drop on tanks. I think one or two more extra tanks from what was sent would have been a monstrous amount of value for the blue player. That being said, I'm not a GM. I am not complaining in any way, shape, or form about their play. There are little things that I think that they could do, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm right, one. And two, it doesn't necessarily mean that I understand the reasons that they're making the decisions and the amount of money that they're banking for the next step and things of that nature. Like I'm just thinking in the moment, not here's the extra 3D move, which is the chest, or the 4D move, which is like, I'm going to force you to have this unit and I'm going to crush it. So, that being said, thank you yet again for another submission. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.